Lindenwood, coach?
Yeah, just watching video on them, they're a good hockey team. Played an extremely hard schedule so far. I think they've played Wisconsin, Michigan State, Denver. Um, who else in there? Ohio State. Yeah. So yeah, they're battle tested for sure. So yeah, just another solid week of practice preparing for a good opponent coming into town.
How'd this series kind of come about?
Yeah, we talked to them. I think maybe a couple of years ago, trying to line up the series there. So, and obviously with the proximity, a little bit to Omaha too, kind of a nice thing to be able to do to hopefully get them here a couple more times. I'm sure we'll end up going there at some time as well in the future here. So, always nice when you're one flight away or a quick drive away.
You were a player playing for a young program in
Mhm.
UNO in their
Yeah.
fourth season. Lindenwood's coming in their third season. How is that as a player? Do you have a chip on your shoulder? You're trying to make a name for your program?
I think anytime you get to come in and kind of you're not in a conference per se, so anytime you get to come in and play an NCHC team or a Big Ten team or that's kind of like your playoffs. So I think that's why you're seeing some of these. They beat Wisconsin 2-0 to Michigan State. These aren't good teams. These are top 10 teams, top 5 teams in some situations. So you're going to get their best, and so I think that's really important to make sure you bring your best as well.
Just thoughts from this past weekend.
Yeah, nice to get a big win on Friday night there, and a split on the road against a very good St. Cloud team. So again, we just keep building. I really liked probably four periods out of the six this weekend here, and really some really good hockey. Even Saturday, our first period was one of maybe our most complete periods I've seen us play, and played really well. So just you're seeing that growth. You're seeing that us continue to build and stack upon good things, and obviously when you play those good teams, they're going to push back, and so again, just learning some of that game management, how to play in certain situations, I think is important for us to continue to learn and grow from when you're playing those top tier opponents.
You used that word grow from the start of the season until now. Obviously, 2 games left, but first half almost complete here. How much have you seen this group grow together?
Yeah, I think that's kind of our MO around here is to find ways to get better all the time and making sure we're keeping improving. And again, a lot of credit to the players. Even when we were sitting here, I can't remember what our record was, but we didn't feel like that was indicative of our true record. And what I mean by that is how we practicing, how are we growing, how are we getting better. And so I think when you can continue that mindset and that development curve, usually good things happen. And I feel like that group's done that. I think we've won 4 of our last 6 now, and still got a long ways to go and lots to learn. But it's nice to see that development continue to take place.
Coach, how about trying to finish this first half of the season on a positive note
Yeah.
before having a couple weeks off?
Yeah, I think that's what we talked about too. We got right back to work on Monday, even though we traveled on Sunday there. We got back to work, and yeah, just keep continuing on with the process there. We'll get a break here on Sunday, but until then, it's time to work and time to get better. And again, I think everybody's intelligent in that room. We know there's no easy games, and we know how hard these guys play, and so we just got to continue to grow and work on our process as well to make sure there's things we got to get better at and continue to build on. And I think we got some good momentum here, but we also have to continue to take personal responsibility to get better.
He scored another big goal on Friday. How much have you seen Sam step up throughout this first half?
Yeah, I think he's been one of our best players, to be honest. I think he's just really, you can see his confidence growing there when we first got him to where he is now. He continues to take steps in that right direction, learn to use his skating, his size. And I think you're just seeing the game slow down for him a little bit there. And obviously an unbelievable kid that puts the work in and continues to get better there. So we knew that coming in, right? We lost a lot of our production there, and so you're going to have to find it in different areas there. And I know he didn't play much at Wisconsin last season there, but we were hopeful that he could, take a step here and develop and grow, and he's done exactly that. So I couldn't be more happy with him for our team's sake, and also just happy for him as an individual. It's a good kid that puts the work in.
At the front end of the staying goal was Marcus with the laser head man pass to his first pass.
Yeah.
Talk about his development, focusing on
Yeah.
individual, continuing to focus on individuals in the team sport. How about Marcus?
Yeah, exactly. I think he's growing as well too. He can really skate out there, and he's not a huge guy, but he's a very competitive individual, and he's a guy that wasn't good enough at the start of the year to play. And we had a conversation with him and just told him what we're seeing and what needs to improve and the behaviors we want to see more of, and he's done just that. So again, to me, he's an up-and-coming young defenseman with the team and doing well, and a great head pass to Stanger on the overtime goal for sure.
Kevin got, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Kevin got into net late on Saturday. Was that just to give him some experience, or is Simon doing all right?
Yeah, no, exactly. I thought just, again, they had those 3 power play goals there and got 4 goals, I believe, in the second period there. So just kind of a nice, I mean, Simon's played a lot of hockey, and so nice to get Kevin some valuable experience there and a little spark for the team to get going here in the third period as well. So it was really nice. I thought he went in there and did well. So I think it was a good combination of both. Give Simon a little breather here and give Kevin some game experience, which we haven't been able to get him a ton. So when you have opportunities like that, I think, again, you look back to growth and how are we developing guys, that's an excellent opportunity for him to get 20 solid minutes in the net.
Any thought of trying to get him a game this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. He's always available, and again, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. I think that needs to be earned, and I think he's been doing exactly that. Similar to Marcus Broberg, I think at the start of the year he just wasn't at the level he needs to be at to play every time, and he's building towards that. And it's not always fun to go through that process. You want it now, you want it yesterday sometimes, but the reality of at a high level, you got to go through it sometimes, and he's learning that right now. He's going through it. He's doing an excellent job. He's got a great mindset, great attitude, and he's getting better. I mean, he's getting better. And at the end of the day, we want to win hockey games, like I mentioned last weekend in my press conference. And if you get better, good enough, you'll play.
Garrett Panini scores on Saturday, and kind of maybe the culmination of bouncing back from the injury and putting in that work that you talk about so much. How do you feel about where his game is at right now, and where he can maybe take it to the next level, helping the next semester?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we lost him there with an injury for a while there, so nice to see him get back in the lineup there. And yeah, he's a guy that's got to figure it out a little bit of what his identity is and what he brings to the table every night. You know, he's a transfer coming here as a junior, so we're working with him. That's probably actually a conversation I'm going to have with him here coming up later in the week, just to really kind of work on forming that identity now. We've got some games under your belt. You're playing a lot of minutes, you know, right? So what can we expect to see out of you every weekend, and how can you help the team produce, and how can we support him in his development as well there too? So, but definitely nice to get a player like that back after an extended injury there, and again, get his mojo going here for the second half.
You look at a guy like Garrett or Sam, especially after the last couple of years, or both of those two specifically. How important is it to have those consistent minutes and kind of routine to get your legs under you here?
Yeah, we'll give you the minutes, and then it's up to you to do something with it at the end of the day, right? We got some, like I mentioned before, we've got a lot of hockey players that are very kind of similar a little bit right now. So really looking for guys to step up with those minutes and take advantage of it and form some of an identity that you can bring to the table for the team every weekend. So if I'm a player right now, that's what I'm looking to do. You know, what do I do consistently on the ice right now that allows me to keep my position in the lineup or grow it? And so I think for those guys that are getting the minutes, they got to make sure that they're finding ways to contribute. Awesome. Okay, thanks, guys.
Zach, just thoughts on the first half up to this point?
Yeah, I think we've had some ups and downs, obviously, but I think every day we seem to be getting a little bit better. You know, we're a process-driven team here, so just trying to focus on every weekend getting a little bit better, every day getting better, so we go into the second half swinging hard.
You go back to the start of the year, so many new faces in this locker room. How have you seen this group kind of mesh together here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows. I think we've been playing better. Whether results are there or not, I think overall we've been playing a lot better than we had at the start of the season. But honestly, within the locker room, you know, we gelled together pretty quick in the summer when we were here. So there hasn't been a lot noticeable things in the locker room per se, but on the ice, I think it's shown. I think we're playing overall better games.
Zach, how important will it be to play well this weekend and finish the first half of the season on a positive note?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got a couple weeks off here after this weekend, so it's always good to finish strong when you know you have a break. You know, we go back before we had our 2 bye weeks in the first half here. The last weekend's important because you want to finish off on a good note. So yeah, we want to finish off this first half good. So it's pretty important that we go out and get 2 wins this weekend.
Zach, what have you guys been working on with Lindenwood coming in?
You know, not too, I mean, we try to focus on what we're doing, but obviously you gotta take into consideration what they're gonna do. You know, they have some good players. They've, you know, they're played a lot of good teams and played close games with good teams. So and just making sure that we're ready for them. They're gonna play hard. They're gonna play fast. We got to make sure we match that.
I know you and Sam are obviously close over the years coming up to this point, but to see him step up, another big goal for you guys Friday night, how nice has it been to see him get rewarded this year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, long-time buddy. So kind of being able to watch him afar of what he kind of went through last year, not getting the opportunity that I think a lot of people thought he should have gotten, to see him come here and succeed. And just overall, I think he loves being here. He loves the guys and the staff and everything about Omaha. So to see him succeed and see him enjoy being here is really special.
What's he add to this lineup?
I think he adds a lot of everything, really. I mean, he has an offensive threat. He's got a great shot. He's a smart player. He has size, speed. He's smart. So I think he adds a little bit of everything, which is important for improving the overall game of the team.
You missed a couple games, come back with a 3-point night. Obviously, very noticeable, very effective. What does that say about the work that goes in behind the scenes with the Mike Lewis and the Josh Engelbrechts and then all of that put together to see what you can do coming back off of an injury and then reflecting as a whole?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's important to note that when you get an injury, it's usually you got to take time to heal a little bit, but you're not really resting behind the scenes. Like you're working out on Friday and Saturday when the guys are preparing for a game. Throughout the week, whether you're skating in practice non-contact or you're on your own on a different sheet or at a different time, you're getting up and down and you're getting your legs going. So it's a lot of work behind the scenes that when you think you have an injury, you're kind of relaxing, you're sitting back waiting to heal, but it's actually a lot more than that, and you're doing a lot so that when you do step into games, you don't feel behind and you don't have to make up any work that you put in before you got hurt. So.
Like you got the college hockey for most teams, you get a little break and a special time of year, you have the holidays and wrapping up a semester. This probably isn't a huge problem at an elite level with veteran guys, but if you talk a little bit about the boys just being intense and finishing it out this week before you kind of get into that little break and just to get the job done and thoroughness and all that good stuff. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it can be hard to not look past the weekend. Obviously, you get to go home. A lot of guys don't get the opportunity to see their family as much as other guys in the team do. So there's a lot of excitement to be able to get a little rest and go home and spend time with your family and your friends for the holidays and whatnot. So it's important, though, that we focus on the two games at hand. Our break doesn't start until Sunday, right? So play Friday, Saturday. Like, we got to make sure we're dialed in for this week and into those games because non-conference games are important for pairwise going down the stretch during the season. So, yeah, it's just it's important that we stay focused and we don't get ahead of ourselves. And when Sunday comes and we have break, and you can focus on that. But until then, we gotta stay dialed in on what we're doing.
Zach, what would fans be surprised to know about you?
I honestly don't know. I don't do too much these days. I don't have a lot of. I wouldn't even say I have much of a hobby. I kind of just play hockey and do school, go to bed. So I don't have too much for you. Sorry.
It's all right.
You mentioned the break and starting on Sunday. What is that like for a player going home, getting time with the family, but also how do you balance, try to stay active and keep your legs going and whatnot? What does that personal plan look like for you and maybe for some of the guys?
Yeah, so similar, when you have an injury and you're not playing, it's a similar process of you want to stay ready. So there's certain guys that'll go and skate every single day. There's certain guys that'll skate once or twice over break or work out more. It's kind of based on personal preference, but you gotta do something. You gotta stay active. You can't just go home and sit on the couch for a week and a half or so and then come back and expect to be feeling good to start the second half of the season. So. For me, I'll probably be on the ice 4 or 5 times over the course of the 7 to 10 days that we'll be out of Omaha. So, and then working out too. So, for me, it's important to stay on the ice. I don't like to take too much time off. So, staying on the ice, working out, and just staying active throughout the day too. Try to not sit around and do nothing too much because I don't want to come back to. After Christmas there and have the legs feeling bad. So